Yo, what's up guys? Welcome back to another video. This is a reaction to every common misconception debunked in 9 minutes. I don't know every common misconceptions, but misconceptions, I feel like they're misconceptions for a reason. People believe them for some reason. Maybe they're told it, that they were told something 8 years ago and it's just stuck with them and they've just believed it. It could be like an unserious thing. It doesn't have to necessarily be anything like that important, but just misconceptions. And yeah, we're here with some. Maybe there are some misconceptions that are a lot more serious. I don't know, but we're going to check this out. Hopefully going to enjoy, and let me know some misconceptions you believed before this video, and if they're in this video, then let me know if they've changed since seeing this video. I mean, obviously they'll change because you're going to learn that you were wrong or you were right, or maybe it wasn't. Maybe the misconception you had wasn't in this video. I don't know, but we're going to check this out. Hopefully going to enjoy. Links are in the description to my Patreon, where you can see reactions that I can't post to YouTube, movies, TV series, YouTube videos that I can't post to YouTube because of copyright, stuff like that. Links are there for those interested, but let's check this out and see some of these misconceptions.
The pyramids of Giza were not built by slaves. Archaeological evidence shows they were constructed by a workforce of laborers who were paid and well-fed. Bananas do not...
Okay, how do they know this? How can archaeologists find this stuff out? Could they sort of see the bone density of the people that are building it and be like, well, their bones are thicker, so they've been fed well, they've had their calcium. Like, how do they know this? I'm not disproving it, I just don't understand how they find this stuff out.
Not grow on trees. They grow on plants that are giant herbs. The historical Buddha is not known to have been fat. Marie Curie did not die from radiation exposure during her research. She passed away from aplastic anemia, likely caused by prolonged exposure to radiation, but not immediately during her work. The Colosseum was not primarily a site for gladiator battles. It hosted a variety of events, including animal hunts, executions, and mock sea battles,
just anything then. Just for brutal things, pretty much.
Alongside gladiator contests. Santa Claus was not created by Coca-Cola as an advertising gimmick. He had already formed in American popular culture. The Bible does not say that exactly 3 magi came to visit the baby Jesus, nor that they were kings or rode on camels. It only says that there was more than one magus. Neither the mafia nor other criminal organizations regularly use or have used cement shoes to drown their victims.
To be fair, I've never even heard of that one. Cinco de Mayo is the celebration of the death?
Cinco de Mayo is not Mexico's Independence Day. It commemorates the Mexican victory over the French at the Battle of...
What's... I've got that day confused with another day then.
Puebla in 1862, not their independence from Spain.
My bad.
Albert Einstein did not propose the theory of relativity out of nowhere. His work built upon and synthesized ideas from previous physicists, including Maxwell and Lorentz. The Wild West was not as lawless and violent as depicted in movies. Historical records suggest that most frontier towns had low homicide rates and communities that emphasized order. The RMS...
That's Hollywood doing it to us, man. You see it in Hollywood films and it just makes you think, yep, that's how it was. Hollywood are lying to us, man.
Titanic was not advertised as unsinkable. This myth emerged after the disaster. The ship was described as being practically unsinkable, highlighting its safety features. The signing of the Declaration of Independence didn't occur on July 4th, 1776. Most delegates signed the document on August 2nd.
Oh. So now you've got another Independence Day then. That's what's happening there. I mean, that's obviously not going to change. But that's just a funny little thing that I wouldn't have guessed at all.
1776, with some signatures added even later. Bumblebee's ability to fly does not defy the laws of physics. Early misunderstandings led to the myth. Modern aerodynamics explain their flight based on wing motion and air vortices. The Salem witch trials were not focused on burning witches. Convicted individuals were hanged or pressed to death. Burning at the stake was more common in Europe. Vomitoriums were not places for Romans to vomit during feasts. They were actually the entrances and exits to stadiums, allowing crowds to vomit out rapidly.
What?
The Spanish flu did not originate in Spain. Spain was neutral during World War II and reported on the flu without wartime censorship, leading to the misnomer. Vincent van Gogh did not cut off his ear to give to a lover. He severed part of his ear in a fit of...
See, I went to the Vincent van Gogh museum when I was in Amsterdam, and yeah, I knew I think everyone knows, you just learn in school or whatever, that he was always that he was just a bit crazy, right? And wasn't it just in like a breakdown or something? And then he went to a hospital after this, right? Or maybe he was at a hospital before, like a mental hospital or an asylum. Went here, and then went back home and then went back to the asylum, I think. Something like that.
Of mental anguish and gave it to a woman in a brothel, not to a romantic partner. The idea of witches flying on brooms originated from folklore and was not a widespread belief among those accused of witchcraft. It's a symbolic image that has evolved over time, not a claim made by those accused during witch trials. Vikings wore simple, functional helmets without horns.
I've learnt this through videos recently.
Contrary to popular depictions in media and art. They also weren't huge. The average height of a Viking man was around 5'7".
Bro, I'm taller than the average Viking. Come on. You'd love to see that.
Inches or 170 centimeters, which was similar to the average height of men in other parts of Europe at the time.
Jeez.
Napoleon was around 5'7" inches, and he was not as short as often believed. Considering the average height in the 1800s, which was 5'6" or 167 centimeters, he was actually taller than average. Thomas Edison improved the light bulb with a durable filament, building on previous Nikola Tesla's work. Humans actively use far more than 10% of their brains for various complex functions and processes. The Great Wall of China is not visible from space without aid, debunking a common myth. Einstein excelled in mathematics, disproving the myth he failed math in his school years. The Bible doesn't specify an apple as the forbidden fruit in the Garden of Eden story. Microwave cooking can preserve nutrients better than some conventional methods.
What? Damn.
Not destroy them. Lemmings don't.
So it's healthier to have microwaved food, not microwaved food, but to reheat food through the microwave, I guess.
Don't commit mass suicide. This myth was popularized by methods, not destroy them. Lemmings don't commit mass suicide. This myth was popularized by flawed nature documentaries. Humans and chimpanzees share a common ancestor. We did not evolve directly from them. The blood is thicker than water phrase originally emphasized bonds formed by shared experiences, and it's not true. Rosa Parks was not sitting in the front, white section of the bus during the event that made her famous and incited the Montgomery bus boycott. Rather, she was sitting in the front of the back, colored section of the bus, where African Americans were expected to sit and rejected an order from the driver to vacate her seat in favor of a white passenger when the white section of the bus had become full. The Great Chicago Fire's cause remains unknown. The cow story is a popular myth. Penguins don't mate for life. They are monogamous, but may change partners seasonally. Chameleons change color based on mood, temperature, and light, not just to blend with their surroundings. Ancient Greek and Roman sculptures were originally painted with colors.
See, I found this out recently as well.
They appear white today only because the original pigments have deteriorated. Earth is not the only planet with water. Mars and Jupiter's moon, Europa, have water too. It does not take 7 years to digest chewing gum. It passes through your system without being digested. Goldfish have memories longer than 3 seconds, capable of distinguishing between different songs. Ostriches do not bury their heads in the sand.
How can they know that?
And when scared, they lie flat and blend in with the ground. Opossums cannot hang by their tails while sleeping. They use their tails for grasping, not for prolonged support.
I mean, it's still quite cool.
Sugar does not make children hyperactive. Studies have debunked the sugar high theory. Lightning can strike the same place twice, contrary to the saying. The Earth is not a perfect sphere. It's an oblate spheroid, flattened at the poles. Genes do not determine race. Humans share 99.9% of their genes with each other, and genetic diversity is vast within groups. The Middle Ages did not universally believe the Earth was flat. Educated people knew it was round. Dogs do not sweat through their tongues. They pant to cool down.
Who thought they sweated through their tongues?
But sweat through paw pads. The 5-second rule for dropped food is not safe. Bacteria can...
I thought it was a 3-second rule, to be fair. But, I mean, it's fine. As long as you don't drop it on, like, a floor for, like, an entrance to, I don't know, a shop or a restaurant or whatever, you'll be fine. And also the food's, like, a dry food. It's not wet. Because if it's wet, I feel like it's going to pick up, I don't know. Just give it a little wipe and you'll be fine. I don't do it often, I promise, but... I'm just saying.
Transfer to food immediately upon contact with the floor.
It depends on the food you drop. I mean, if I drop like a sweet, to be fair, I mean, I'm only going to eat it if I'm at home and I'm going to rinse it first. I'm not going to pick up food that I drop in the outdoors, to be honest. I'm being honest here.
Not all deserts are hot. Polar deserts can be brutally cold. Fortune cookies did not originate in China. They are an American invention associated with Chinese restaurants. If you touch a baby bird, its mother will not reject it due to human scent. Most birds have a limited sense of smell. Alcohol lowers body temperature despite the warming sensation it can give. Swimming right after eating isn't dangerous. The biggest risk might be a minor cramp.
So why do they always tell you not to do it in school?
You don't have to wait 24 hours to report a missing person. There's no waiting period required to report a missing person to the police.
But I mean, the police probably just won't respond if it's after like 2 hours. I mean, you know, they want to try and save their money for big cases.
Adding salt to water makes only a negligible difference in boiling time. Going out with wet
I didn't even know that.
hair in cold weather doesn't cause colds. Only viruses do.
My girlfriend thinks that going out with wet hair causes that, and I'm always like, I don't understand why you think that. I mean, she gets cold quite a bit easier than me, so I understand she just doesn't want to get cold. But I never knew that. Like she always said, going out with wet hair is you're gonna get ill, and I'm like, I've never been told this before. I just sort of thought, okay, if you say it, then I guess it's true. But I never really knew about it, and I guess it's a lie.
A coin dropped from a great height,
But he says you can get viruses, so I mean, you can still get sick. To be fair, so she's actually right.
like the Empire State Building, can't kill someone. It might sting, but isn't lethal. Cracking your knuckles doesn't cause arthritis, though it may weaken grip strength over time.
Oh,
Bats aren't blind.
stop doing
They
it.
can see 3 times better than humans.
Oh,
Humans have more than 5 senses, possibly up to 14 to 20,
do they know which senses? Can you give me an idea?
including balance and temperature.
Balance is a sense. I mean, I'm not going to dispute it, but damn.
Shaving doesn't make hair grow back thicker. The new hair feels coarse because it has a blunt tip. Mount Everest is
Really?
not the tallest mountain on Earth. Measured from base to summit, Hawaii's Mauna Kea is taller than Everest, with over half of it submerged underwater. Coffee doesn't actually dehydrate you. Moderate coffee consumption contributes to your daily fluid intake without significant dehydration. Sushi doesn't mean raw fish in Japanese. It actually refers to vinegared rice, often accompanied by various ingredients, including raw fish. The Sahara Desert isn't the world's largest desert. Antarctica is considered the largest desert,
I knew
defined
that.
by low precipitation levels, not by temperature. The Canary Islands are not named after birds. Their name derives from the Latin Canariae insulae, referring to the island's large dogs. The term third world doesn't imply poverty or underdevelopment. Originally, it categorized countries not aligned with NATO
So they changed the meaning over time.
or the Communist bloc during the Cold War. The dark side of the moon is a misnomer. All sides of the moon receive sunlight. The far side is just never visible from Earth. The Library of Alexandria's destruction wasn't a single catastrophic event. Its decline was gradual, involving several incidents over centuries, not just one fire. The Spanish Inquisition was not as deadly as commonly believed. Historical records suggest far fewer executions than the tens of thousands often cited. Diamonds are not formed from coal. Most diamonds are formed in the Earth's mantle, well below the depths where coal is found. The term rule of thumb does not originate from a law about wife beating. It likely refers to using one's thumb as a rough measurement tool, not any legal statute. Gladiators didn't always fight to the death. Many matches were highly regulated, with the possibility of surrender and survival for the combatants. Walt Disney did
That's good to know. Hopefully that's actually true.
not invent Mickey Mouse alone. Ubby Iwerks, a Disney animator, played a significant role in the creation and design of Mickey Mouse. Shout out to these guys.
Wait, this video stopped at 73. Why not 75? Or 80? Who knows? I mean, to be fair, I feel like I've learned about a lot of these recently, but still, some misconceptions that you didn't know about before. Hey, I'm average height for the time, you jerk. She didn't die from radiation exposure, just something caused by radiation exposure. Oh, yeah. I did think that. I was kind of confused when that happened, when this was mentioned, but it's all good. I knew it. The irony about the lightning can't strike at the same place twice is that in reality, lightning strikes the same place fairly often, because if it struck there for the first place, it struck there in the first place often because of favourable conditions for the spot for it to happen. Imagine being someone lightning strikes twice, not just a random area, a human that gets struck twice. It's just, and how people can survive like lightning strikes, I don't understand it. I just don't get it. It's so wild to me that there's these situations where humans can survive these things that just doesn't seem possible. But hey, maybe there are reasons behind it. I mean, obviously there is electricity in our bodies, right? But it's just it's just wild how you can survive this flipping thunderbolt or lightning bolt. Oh, it's crazy. But maybe I'll do a reaction to that in future, how that's possible. But yeah, hopefully you enjoyed this reaction. And until next time, like, subscribe, peace.